Today, AOC was asked by Dropsite News about whether she has endorsed Shoykat Chakrabarti yet. Shoykat was her former chief of staff and her campaign manager when she pulled off the miraculous victory against Joe Crowley. Shoykat was also the head of the Justice Democrats. He also just knocked out Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi retired when Shoykat was running against him. And then a bunch of other establishment Democrats jumped in. And in fact, his main opponent, Scott Wiener, is one of the most pro-Israel legislators in all of California. He has pushed for legislation that would say that you cannot criticize Israel in our schools. And if you do, there will be consequences. He has pushed for firing people who lead universities if they don't ban the boycott and divestment and sanction movement on college campuses, saying if you don't take Americans' rights away so that they serve Israel loyally, that he's gonna get you fired. So it's not like this is a hard question as to who progressives should support, who populists should support, who any right-minded Democrat should support. Obviously, Shoykat, but for us, that's relatively easy. For AOC, that has to be the simplest question in the world. Here's the person who helped get you into Congress and was your chief of staff. So this one's gonna be super easy for her to answer. Let's watch.
Shoykat, obviously your chief of staff, former chief of staff, is running in San Francisco. That primary is in June. Obviously, you're not gonna have a reporter tell you to endorse, but like, is that something are you at least monitoring the race, looking at it? I mean, what's your stance on Shoykat? Because like, you have a close relationship.
I think for me overall, it's more about I'm trying to think about the role that I am trying to play more broadly in these things. You know, we've got 435 seats in Congress, right? And there is this kind of moment where it's like and not just with this race, but with any race, once you go in, then it's like, what about this? What about this? What about this one? And I'm one person with, a pretty amazing crack, but also lean team. And so we're thinking about kind of like how much of myself I'm pouring into this and how much of myself we want to make sure that we're, pouring into the task at hand, like, what we've got going on here. So, but I think that what I will say is that I think that the primary environment that we're seeing is really great. I think that progressives have already notched some really impressive victories this early into the primary season. And we've got another, 6 or 7 months of it to go. And I'm looking forward to having a lot of new colleagues here in November that we can, it's been a really lonely road for the first 8 years. And I'm really hoping that it'll be a little less lonely in November.
My boss has a book about that.
What was that? That was a Kamala Harris-like word salad. Okay, I'm gonna try to decipher it. This is about the role I'm trying to play more broadly. What does that mean? I have no idea what that means. How much, she said, this is the moment, okay, this is the moment to decide. Yeah, I agree. Shoykat, she said, we got like another 6 months here. No. Shoykat's in a primary, that's on June 2nd. So that's, a little over a month away. We don't have a lot of time. What are you waiting for? She said, okay, I have a crack team. Well, then maybe that's the one. Look, I'm not insulting her team. I'm not even insulting her. I just don't understand. Like, does your crack team have to work for 6-8 months to endorse your former chief of staff? Don't you know who your former chief of staff is? You got to do a lot of research about that? She said, oh, there's 435 seats. Yeah, but we're not asking about 434 other seats. We're asking about your former chief of staff and the campaign manager that got, look, Shoykat didn't unilaterally get her that position. I've said this a million times. AOC was brilliant in that campaign. She did an amazing job. She deserves a world of credit for winning that race. But Shoykat also deserves credit. And I mean, if you don't know, Shoykat was running JD. He went all in and went on AOC's campaign, was absolutely pivotal in getting her a win. Now, by the way, guys, I want you to understand something. Our PAC, Rebellion PAC, our meaning the one I'm running with Kara Eastman, has endorsed Shoykat, but he's not gonna be happy about this segment. He doesn't want me talking about this, but sad day for him. This is my show and I'll do whatever I want, okay? So he's running for office. He's a really nice, good guy, like way nicer than me. And he's trying to get along with everyone. And of course he'd like everybody's endorsement. He doesn't want to antagonize anybody. But I don't mind antagonizing people because I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Why does it take a year for you to figure out if you should endorse your chief of staff? That's not one of 435. Does loyalty mean anything? Is that like an outdated, dirty word or something? For me, it does mean something. So, and then I guess out of all of that, the thing that bothered me the most is when she said, I have to decide how much of myself I'm pouring into this. Oh, I'm sorry. Are we inconveniencing you? I know how much of himself Shoykot poured into your campaign, 100%. And I think it made all the difference. And a lot of people think it made all the difference. But now when he needs the help, well, how much of herself is she gonna pour into him? This looks terrible, man. So, all right, look, at the end of the day, policy and getting it passed is the only thing that matters, eyes on the prize. So I'm not against AOC. AOC is on our side on the policies way more than the average person in Congress. She has these character traits that are bizarre, inexplicable. And she apparently doesn't think loyalty is like anything that matters at all. She doesn't think it's a value. I can't believe she hasn't endorsed him yet. Sorry, Shoykot, sorry. He's a good guy. He doesn't want anybody saying this, but this is insanity. It isn't about Shoykot. It's about what are we doing as a movement? You know what Justice Democrats were supposed to do when they went in? We had a whole plan. The plan was that once you get in, you open the gates and that you support other people running against incumbents. Because this wasn't about your career, it was about getting more progressives into Congress because the establishment is never going to do what we want. So we have to defeat the establishment. They got in and they're like, wow, 435 races this moment, blah, 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 blah. And where is the fiery support for the people behind you? You're supposed to put up a ladder so they could climb up, not take the ladder away. Or not take 6 months to decide if you should endorse one of the principal architects of the progressive movement. That is not a complicated question at all. Okay, last thing, guys. Look, to the point of me not being against AOC at all. What are you doing? The New York Senate seat is right there. Just take it. Chuck Schumer voted to give Israel more bombs today. Chuck Schumer is like 900 years old. Always votes for the corporate lobby. Always votes for Israel. Always votes against Democrats. AOC would win that New York Senate seat in a cakewalk. Endorse Shoykot, then endorse yourself and run against Schumer. Are you so worried about angering the establishment? Are you still looking for credit from them? That you're not going to do something pivotal for the movement? Because this New York Senate seat not only would get rid of a so-called leader that has been leading us in the wrong direction for decades, that would be a huge win in and of itself if anyone did it. But then it puts one of the more progressive members of Congress into the Senate. It's a double win, and it helps her career. Where's the question? For God's sake, do things that are really simple. We're not against you. We just want you to do the things that you said you'd do. It's not too much of an ask. And if you hate me for saying it, good, no problem at all. Because for me, this isn't about ego. You can hate me and 1,000 other people can hate me. But we've got to get wins. And if you don't have people like Shoykot inside Congress, and if you don't have people like AOC inside the Senate, we're never gonna have enough people and enough power to get our policies passed. And that's the point, because the policies affect Americans, voters, the average guy out there. And that's who we're all supposed to serve, not ourselves.
Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.